It's finally happening. Chilling with the #1 Knox man, DJ Sbu. Welcome, brother. How you doing, bro?
It's good to see you, bro.
Thank you so much. When last did I see you? It's been years.
At least you've grown now.
No, I'm still the same. I'm still the same, man.
The last time I worked with this guy, I was doing the YFM breakfast starting at 6 a.m. His show started at 2, ne?
Yeah, 3 a.m.
3 a.m., yeah, and then you finish at 6.
Yeah.
But his show was like the breakfast show. Your show was like a breakfast, you know?
Yeah, it was lit. It was breakfast before breakfast, man.
Yeah, but I think you made your mark in the youth in Gauteng.
Yeah.
You know, I think you guys are also entrepreneurial before time. Mm-hmm. You guys came out with your Rock the Girls condoms.
Oh, yes.
You guys used to throw all these different gigs. And I just loved your vibe.
We didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
I know. Like, you guys didn't know what you're doing. I also didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I figured it out as I grew, you know?
Is there anything you haven't sold, Sbu?
Jeez, bruh.
I was telling my friend the other day.
Or my soul.
I was telling my friend the other day, like, if you could sell air, you'd probably sell that too.
Of course, bruh. Of course. How? I'm a hustler, bro. What you expect?
But honestly, like, you sold everything. Airtime. What haven't you sold, bruh?
I've sold, books.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
Drinks now. Alcohol. My words.
Yeah.
But when I was young, I want to come up. I used to sell anything, like just to survive. Calculators, shaving machines, toys, clothes. I actually, and I haven't shared this story much. I used to go to Bangkok and buy clothes. Imitation clothes.
Yeah.
I used to go and buy body DKNY, body Versace, you know, like all these brands that wouldn't. It's a jumpy scene, and I'd know my clientele.
Yeah.
And I used to. I don't know if I can mention their names in the industry. I used to sell to some artists.
Oh wow, really?
And some of them used to.
You gotta give
some
us
of them used to shoot their music videos with my clothes. I look at the old school music videos now. I'm like, and I never told them. They don't know that those clothes used to be fake.
Who is this? You talking about? You gotta know.
Because I watched the videos. I'm like, they're busy. They're coming, having swagger. They don't know that.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I was hustling, and I was on the come up. And for me, I appreciated. And this is even before I got into the industry.
Yeah.
I was just known as this guy who was stylish. I used to dress nice.
Okay.
I was on campus, part of the SRC at Mzekeeke, which is now UJ. That's how I started getting to know a lot of artists because I was part of the entertainment, the rec team. Started creating relationships with the artists, and I was part of the campus radio.
Yeah.
So, but I was dressed nice.
Nice.
So they knew me as that guy from Mzekeeke or UJ, who sells clothes. You know, so I used to hook them up.
Now, how much ass are you getting at this time? Because when I was not famous, no girl would want to be with me.
Same here.
And then when I got to YFM, every girl wanted to be with me.
Yeah.
Was it like that with you?
With me, it was like that until I started being the guy that dresses nice. You know.
So you had the swag.
Clothes.
Yeah.
Clothes really got girls liking me.
Yeah.
And I used to sell cell phones on campus. So the fact that I used to sell cell phones, for some reason, like when you're a student, I mean, you know, when you're a student, you can I used to go back to the girls in my trick. Student and you can get girls.
Yeah.
Because, you know, but I think times have changed. I don't think you can get students that easily now.
No.
Because now they've got Instagram and they can see better. Back in those days, they didn't have Instagram.
And you know, DJ Sbu was actually one of the first people to mess around and rock with proper slay queens. I'm talking about models. Before, because now if you have an ass, you're a slay queen. Man, I used to rock models, dude. Do you know that?
But I think, you know, it was, you know, the thing, these people, you always see them on TV.
Yeah.
And as you're saying, like, no girl wants to hook up with you.
Yeah.
But once you start happening, it's like, yo, how?
Because as a girl, there was a model I used to drop off when you used to stay in Danefern.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember her, but I used to drop off all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were busy in there.
Are you serious?
You were catching feelings there.
Who was that?
Must have dropped a name.
Let's not drop people's names. But you know, in the industry, it's like, yeah, there's a lot. And that's why you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Because once you get consumed in that, and girls, drugs, alcohol.
Okay, when did you start getting consumed
parties
with all of that in your career?
All the time. When I started making money.
Which was when?
I was young, man, 21.
First mill.
Yeah, 21, 22.
What are you doing at the time? Are you at YFM? What are you doing at the time?
At the time, TS Records is starting out. Mzekezeke is blowing up.
Yeah.
I joined YFM 19 turning 20. I was an intern. 21, we start TS Records. Mzekezeke blows up immediately.
And back then, people don't understand this. Like, records were actually selling, and you could make money from albums and stuff.
A lot of money.
As opposed to today, where you have to do shows to make money. But back then, albums were actually selling.
Yeah, I was saying to people, I was posting something, Mzekezeke is coming back, he's just dropped his brand new single, and is working on a full Kwaito album to drop next year. So I was sending people as the new record label and partnering with him, sending people his resume. And there's parts where he's like 10 times platinum. Yeah. 14 times platinum. People are like, hey, you can't be canicking these figures. I'm like, but it's the truth, because if you look at the platinum, the standards have dropped.
No, I've got no idea. So I never knew in the beginning what that meant, actually.
Platinum was 50,000 units.
Okay.
Yeah. If they're saying you sold double platinum, you've sold 100,000.
That's a lot of units.
Yes. Nowadays, platinum has gone all the way down to, it's not even 40 anymore. At some point, it went down to 40. I think at some point they dropped it to either 30 or 20, which means gold is half of that. So in today's standards, geez, man, like the number of units that, I don't even want to talk about myself as an artist, as DJ Sbu, or Mzekeeke as an artist, or Ntando as an artist, or Zahara, or Pro, but I think as a label, geez, I mean, you can do the math.
Okay, so now this money is coming in. You busy partying, having the time of your life. At what point does it all start to fizzle away?
You see, the thing is, I had to keep on going, because when radio opened, I joined an agency, Gano, and then I tried to open TV. TV opened. When TV opened, I just never stopped. I started doing commercials. I started doing acting.
So you've never been broke?
I was broke before I joined the industry. Mm-hmm. But joining the industry, I made a lot of money for at least about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then the mistake I was making, I was not paying tax. And that was one of the things that brought my problems, number one. Number two was the not really, no. For me is, I wouldn't even call sisters bitches.
Yeah.
I've always just been that guy, because I was brought up by a lot of women around me. Yeah. For me is, even when I liked girls, I've always just had this class of, there's a certain type of girl that I want to mess with. It's not just any girl, I wanted the cream of the crop, and just the smooth top sisters.
Hence I said,
the ones that are difficult to get. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You started with the proper slave queens. The original.
and I think, for me, when the word slave queen was invented by social media recently, I think it was meant to describe a certain type of
female
sister. Yeah. But now, obviously, it has become something else. Like, the sisters, when you say slave queen, like, no.
They don't want to be associated
with that name. The connotation has now become negative.
Yeah.
But I used to mess with that. So the girls, the partying. Then let me tell you where the problem started with me.
Tell me.
Age 27, I started drinking alcohol.
Oh, so you never been drinking?
No, bro. No, bro. I never touched alcohol. I was just always high on life. Even on campus, people will tell you, when we used to party on campus when I was at varsity, I was just this party guy. People used to think I drink.
Yes.
Like, he's always high on something, or maybe he does mandrags or something. Yes. And I never touched any drugs in my life. The only drug I touched, which they made us believe it was a drug, and it wasn't a drug, was a Zol, because my roommate at the time, the guy who taught me DJing, Khanto.
Yeah.
Two guys taught me to DJ, Khanto and a guy called Mzekekezeke. He actually works with us in Massive Metro now.
You used to play Sbu.
Yeah.
And you still do.
He taught me to play.
No, Blaze, I'm saying smoke weed.
I know, I wasn't a smoker, but I used to mess with it.
Oh, okay.
And then over time, I started enjoying weed rather than I would alcohol or anything else, because I started understanding the origins of it and what it means, and that it's not as bad as it's made out to be.
Yeah, alcohol is poison, man, because weed will never make you vomit. Yeah,
and I started learning all of that, and I was like, okay, so there's nothing wrong about smoking weed,
Yeah.
But so my problem started when don't worry, there's a motorbike there. The Nando's guy just came to deliver some food for the guys at the office. Drinking of the alcohol, drink and driving cases, caught speeding, negative publicity, sponsors are pulling out, people don't want to be associated with you, then the problems start. And not paying off my taxes, I messed up. I mean, I made mistakes like any young man, who's new to money. Yeah. And I think that sort of costed me. Yeah.
But what I love about you is never kept you down.
Of course, bro.
You're so resilient. Like there's a few people in the industry that remind me of you that have the same passion, same resilience, same kind of energy. And that would be you, Euphonic, Casper on your vest. You guys have the same drive and you are never satisfied. Like, if you get $1 million, you want 10 mil. And when you get 10 mil, you want 100 mil.
Because the lifestyle changes, right?
Yeah.
You're moving from from being in taxis to a 3 Series BMW. You move from there to a even more expensive car. And your lifestyle, just to afford your lifestyle, becomes more expensive. And that's what happens. And then you, because you're dumb and you're young, you think you're the man when you've got... I mean, I remember there was a time when I had a Lamborghini. I had an Audi TT, which was a sponsored one.
Me. Are you serious, Buddha?
Yes. I had a Porsche Boxster. I had a Range Rover, the old ones. Unnecessarily 3 vehicles and a sponsored vehicle. For what? I don't know. So when I see Casper doing it now... and people are like, no, that's dumb. You can't buy 2. I understand what he's going through. And I do know that he has to go through it to satisfy himself, to be able to snap out of that. And I like it because he says that too. And I think it was one of the interviews, I was interviewing him about the passing of WHP. It was fresh. I was listening to him, and I think Lemonka was saying he came up with all these great ideas, and he used to chat to WHP about them, like producing TV shows and stuff. And now that WHP just passed on, and he's just being commissioned about all these ideas he used to speak about all these years. Now they're going to go on TV. How excited WHP was. And then Fresh asked DJ Lemonka, what type of a show is it going to be? And then he said, it's a show like, where are they now? Type of thing, like what people did with their success. Like, where are they now? Some of them have fallen, of course. Some of them have learned from their... And then Fresh says to Casper, 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 my man, we don't want to see you on that show. You know? and Casper says, you probably will, but it will not be a sad story. I'll probably be one of those guys who messed up and sort of figured it out. And I love his honesty, and I love his thinking, and I love his hustle mentality, because he's me. I look at him, I'm like, this youngster is me,
Hence I said I get the same vibe when I'm with him,
exactly,
what I mean?
And I like it because he says, probably I will be, but as the guy who messed up and figured it out. And that's my sentiments exactly, where I can't give another man an advice and say, don't do 1, 2, 3, 4 because I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 and I messed up.
Because we all have our own paths.
I share those advices all the time, but if they don't follow the advice, I understand. Because you have to be in it to understand, and you have to satisfy yourself. And you have to sort of make those mistakes yourself and burn, and then see that the stove actually does burn, so that you do not repeat the same mistake. Because if I just keep telling you all the time, at some point you are going to mess up, and probably on a bigger scale. So rather mess up now, those Bentleys, as opposed to messing up 100 million rand company called Mofire, or a radio station called Massive Metro. I'm messing it up because now I feel like I've arrived and I'm messing up, and I've got over 50 people that report to me. I'm now looked at as a leader. Do you know what I mean? So it's better because I messed up earlier in my 20s, but I figured it out.
And it's always nice to lose money at a young age because you can always bounce back. You know what I mean?
I'm a man, but let's talk about the nice side. The nice side is like, Joe, it was crazy because Tina were inspired by Diddy and Jay and those American rappers. And now you need to remember, nobody was getting money here at the time. Me and TK, my man, we were getting music money when the guys had not started getting tenders.
Oh, wow.
Like, there were no black guys in Porsches and Beamers and Lambos. There were no black guys, especially young. The only guys you'd see, it's probably older guys. Guys in their 40s, etc. Young guys, 20s, driving Porsches and Lambos, Hummers and Lamborghinis. It was us, bruh. Like, when we get into a club, we shut it down. Guys know every time when there's summer awards in Sun City, everybody wanted to be at the Tears party. You're either at the Tears party or you're at the Kalawa party. Everywhere. Metro FM awards in East London, Metro FM awards in Durban. J&B, what is J&B Max in Cape Town. Everybody knew. Like, mostly Samachitang, I'm a pipe.
Yeah.
Plus, we used to love clothes as well. So, spending money on clothes, spending money on alcohol and sports cars was damned. Obviously, alcohol, a lot of it you used to get for free because you get booked to all these different venues. But those were the days where I messed up, bro, you know?
I remember we once went to Durban July together. And
you
showed me the time of my life. I was like, this can't be life.
We're driving those Jeeps, right?
Yes,
the convertible
The
ones.
convertible ones. I'm like, this can't be life. This is
we're
too
driving
much.
the convoy, yeah.
And that time I'm fresh out of high school.
Yeah, now imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine when you have to get into that.
Yeah.
You're coming from when you were nobody. No chick wanted to mess with you. And Bunjani, cool. And no chick wanted to mess with you. Now, all of a sudden, everybody wants you.
Yeah.
Everybody just worships the ground that you walk on.
Yeah.
Now you're in all these sports cars, and you know, it's about to mess with you, you know?
And now it's pretty much the same, but on a bigger scale, because these guys are making way more money than we were making at the time. You know what I mean? But when we talk about having fun and doing all that shit, I look at your career from a distance. And I just see you always working, making money. At what point do you get time to just chill and enjoy the money that you're making? And just have fun. Like, what makes you, what do you enjoy having fun? I mean, what do you like to do to have fun instead of making money, hustling all the time?
Very good question. There's a lady, she's one of my mentors. She's in her 60s. Her name is Dr. Tony Luck. She does an evening show on Massive Metro on Monday nights at 8 to 10 p.m. She's from America originally. She's based in South Africa. She's an amazing mother to me. She's an amazing mentor. And she always says to me, especially right now with Massive Metro doing well and Hustlers Academy and More Fire and all these great things that are happening in my life now. She says, Sbu, wait a minute, my son. Take a minute to enjoy what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean, Mama? She says, no, you are just always at it.
Exactly.
Just calm down. Are you aware what you've created? I'm like, what? No, we're still small, man. We're still going to go. She's like, no. No, it's not an everyday thing where you get youngsters creating all these companies and just in front of our eyes. She says, Sbu, I was reading about you down and out. Just recently you were fired by Metro. Just for me to and I've been following you just literally in 3 years. Look at what you're doing. And he says, slow down and soak it in. At some point, God wants us to live in the moment.
Yeah.
Because we're sometimes wanting and chasing. Sometimes
time.
you need to just live in the moment, absorb, and just appreciate the blessings that you have. And I mean, my sentiments exactly. And I do agree, Limam. But then, fathers out there will tell you, who are parents, they'll tell you that once they got their first child, their lives changed.
Yeah, true.
And how did your life change?
True.
It changed because now you're no longer thinking about yourself. You're thinking about this little thing.
Yeah.
You're thinking about 18 years from today. You're thinking about, so the life changes and the mindset changes. So my daughter changed my life, 2013, for me to stop working on now and the next car and the next better house. My daughter made me to start thinking about longevity, about legacy, about creating things that are going to look after her and her brothers and sisters
Generational wealth
in the future. Yes.
Yeah.
But that happened automatically with the birth of my child. It wasn't a decision where I was like, this is what I'm going to start doing now. No, I wasn't that intelligent. It was just God through my child. I was like, yo, I'm an entertainer, and entertainers are known for dying poor and broke. What if I die tomorrow? Is my daughter sorted for life? Then I started having those questions and looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, I need to start channeling my drive and my hustle towards things that are going to be long term.
That's how more fire comes about.
That's when I stopped the music industry in 2013.
Yeah,
I got out of it. And then I had to go and focus on going to build. The first thing I did was register for my MBA. The second thing I did was More Fire for 2014. We started the business. We had been busy with the research and development in 2013, but I eventually got into it full time in 2014. Then that journey started. And then obviously I was fired from Metro the following year in 2015. Then it opened up my mind more that it could all end now.
Yeah.
But for me, it was nice because I was fired for the right reasons of building my brand.
I think you're the one person in the industry who's been more fired than I have.
I've been fired twice. You've been fired how many times?
Like 4 times. Man.
You gotta be kidding me. I think you are in the league of Joe and Chile M. Joe and Chile
Okay,
M.
so make me understand, because I've never understood this whole mentorship thing that you do, right? Because I feel like everyone out there wants to make money. Why should you need motivation and mentorship and encouragement to make money?
Okay.
Like everybody wants to make money, and just simply by breathing and waking up and having oxygen means there's a purpose for you in this life. So why do you need someone to come and tell you how to get to that goal or whatever it is that you want to reach?
Yeah, and without having to sound like I was dodging a previous question, I like giving context first before I go straight for the killers and giving you the right answer so you can understand where I'm coming from. To wrap up the previous answer I was giving you is wasn't about making money, but it's about building long-term and comfort, longevity for my daughter. And right now that I think in the past 3 to 4 years, I've done really well. I think I've outdone myself. I thought by now, the only thing that'd be going well for me would be more fire.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there'd be Massive Metro, there'd be the Hustlers Academy with 100 students who are doing well, over 20,000 policies because we're in the financial services space.
Yeah.
I didn't know there'd be Lock of Flame, the alcohol company. And I didn't know that I'd have the urge to want to go back to the music industry now. I just registered a new company, Mzekezeke Music, partnership with Mzekeeke for 2019. That's what I'll be doing. So 2019, I'm turning 40. And I told myself that's going to be my sabbatical year, meaning I go leaving.
I know you deserve it. You've been working. Dog.
I know.
Even I get tired watching you work.
I know. Everyone's like, when is this guy chilling? He's always grinding. Because for me, it's just that it's always been I want to retire at age 40. So I'm glad that I'm well within my plans to retire at age 40 because as I'm speaking to you now, somebody's buying a can of Mofire.
Hey, cheers. Hey now.
and it's true because that's what I wanted to build. It was in my ideas.
Yeah.
But I never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
I just risked with my career, but it's happening. To be doing 3 million units a month from 800 units is commendable because you've just been growing consistently. Our graph just keeps growing every month. And it means I've achieved to create a business that brings me passive income, that is annuity income for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because once people buy into this, they're going to consume it forever. I mean, YFM is now 21 years old.
Yeah.
I remember when it was 4 years old when I joined it. Metro FM is 30 years old? Somebody started it somewhere. This is the same. This is going to be like 30 years old, 40 years old. And people are going to be talking in history that this guy started it like this, he was fired. I'm in the history books, I never thought that I'd achieve or do all those things. But what I wanted to say is I'm affording only now myself an opportunity to go and relax, go on a sabbatical and just go enjoy my life, travel the world, focus on being a father, get my daughter experiencing both the Disney World and even myself experiencing traveling the world, having fun, going surfing, enjoying the 8 wonders of the world. Creating a music company allows me to go and have fun, make music for fun, just for the fun of it. Mzekezeke Music is not a company I made to go make money. I do know money is going to come because anything I get into, I make sure that it becomes a success, especially with what I know now. There is no way that Mzekezeke Music is not going to become a successful music company.
Speaking about Mzekezeke, how long are you going to pull that front for? Because, I think it is probably the worst kept secret in the country. Everybody knows Mzekezeke. How long are you going to deny it for?
And I like that, I like when people speak like you, where they assume they know.
Come on, Spoon. Everybody knows. Come on now.
Exactly. When people say that, like, everybody knows. For me, is it a matter
honestly, do you think, are you still going on the whole thing that you're not Mzekezeke?
So for me, is it a matter of Clark Kent being Superman or Spider-Man and Black Panther being fictional characters that brainwash kids to believe them as superheroes, or Black Panther grossing over $1 billion is into the African market now with a fictional character, yes, featuring some of our actors and actresses. For me, it's more important to have a real Black Panther African hero representing Africans as opposed to who plays that hero.
I love how you dodge questions, dog.
I'm not dodging questions. I'm giving him a pro. No, I'm giving him context because we think small. We think Sbu Mzekezeke is crazy, but we don't think.
No, I for one don't think.
I understand.
Genius.
No, I understand that. I know I'm a genius. That I know. And by the way, it comes from a humble place. I'm not being arrogant.
Yeah.
I do know that I'm a genius, right? It just takes time for people to see that.
It's probably one of the biggest characters or gimmicks to ever come out of this country.
But you don't call Superman a gimmick, right? That's exactly my point. So what I'm trying to say is, for me, the way we think so small of ourselves or what we're capable of and how great Americans are with what they're able to superimpose or sell to the world, we don't think that big. And when somebody does it of our own, it's the same with Mofaya. How many people criticize me? And when they look at the growth of the brand now, it's like, wow. And people are supportive of it, and I'm appreciative of it. And I'm not mad at the market for criticizing it in the beginning, because I understand that this type of thinking was imposed on us. Self-hate. Self-hate, that's what Robert Sobukwe fought for. That's exactly what Malcolm X fought for. That's exactly what Steve Biko
But it's
fought
not
for.
self-hate, because we all embrace Mzekezeke. I don't think even anyone hates Mzekezeke.
No.
We appreciate him, we celebrate him. But I'm saying, at what point is it like, okay, cool, we get it?
I think you're losing me.
No.
Yeah,
I'm hearing
the
you.
context now is no longer about Mzekezeke specifically. He was just an example. I'm now broadening the scope in the conversation to say the self-hate is, take for instance African Americans, right? Slave trade, 400 years. Many years later, are we going to continue having these guys to build? Imagine if 4 million people were to work for you for 400 years and you don't pay them. How much money do you owe them?
A shitload.
Why do you think America is rich as a country? And then comes the time
But
where
that's
we're
been
like,
well documented. Everybody knows that.
yes, I know that. So we're abolishing the slave trade. So we have to now take all these 4 million slaves. Are we going to take them back to Africa? And those were the ideas. Let's take them back to Africa. What is that movement going to be called? How are we going to do it? And then eventually they decided on integrating them into society.
Yes.
But what are we going to do? Because majority of them, they're uneducated. They can't, all these different things that they thought about the African Americans. And
initially they gave them land, but then they took it away.
And then what happened. But you need to understand one thing. As much as they were saying slavery was abolished, it wasn't abolished, because once you commit a crime, you are forfeiting your rights of being treated as a citizen, because most American citizens are actually not American citizens. If you go read the American Constitution, you will see that America is treated as a company. Even the United States of America is written in capital letters. That's why the citizens, which are white people, their names, they are citizens of America, but America is treated as a company. And black people are not citizens, but they're treated as citizens. But once they commit a crime and they go to prison, they forfeit their rights of being treated as citizens. They go back to being slaves, because you know what happens? Because big companies in America thrive on prisoners, because America has got the largest prison population in the world. And those people are the people that build, that make things, that manufacture things. It's still the same. It's still slavery. They're in prison working without getting paid. But somebody's benefiting of the work that they're doing, and it's the big companies, and it's what other people call the Illuminati, the big families, because they run the American Reserve Bank that controls that country. And it's capitalism, because it's run by money. So whether you're talking Republicans or you're talking Democrats, both sides and both wars were funded by the same families. And the news that is out there is they'll talk about the Bilderbergs, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, etc. But it's a certain group of people that have been so good in running the world, such that white supremacy is even...
But wait, okay, let me just...
And I'm trying to get to a certain point. Don't worry, this is a podcast. We're not in a hurry. There's no show ending here. And I'm trying to drive a point home, some, because I do know there's younger people that are watching. I'm trying to school some people here.
Definitely.
And there's people who sit down and say, the new world order, how are we going to be able to run the entire world? We're going to have to be able to be present and visible in every country, especially Africa. Why Africa? Because we've got most minerals in there. We have to kill Gaddafi, because Gaddafi has to talk about Africa becoming one and the entire world trading on its own minerals. Because you need to remember, Gaddafi was mobilizing all the African leaders. And Gaddafi was starting to say, okay, you guys have got your euros and pounds and dollars, but meanwhile, you're coming to take our resources, this are our minerals. From now on, every country is going to trade with whatever gold it has. And you need to remember that
they can't have that.
They can't have that, because the continent with the most minerals is us, which is Africa, right? And when somebody starts advocating for a United States of Africa, that person has to go, because now he's threatening our livelihood. That's how these people think.
100%.
And then now you start questioning things like, oh, is that the reason why lies had to be created for Iran? Let's start with Iraqi. For Iraqi to be bombed, For Saddam Hussein to be victimized about WMDs, the weapons of mass destruction. That was a lie that was created. We do know that America bombed itself. There's proof out there.
But what point are you getting to?
I'm driving it. You'll get it. Okay. Don't be in a hurry. Learn. Young man, learn. Watch and learn and listen. I'm schooling you now. And yes, I mean, others, people say it's conspiracy theories, but it's things that you go and investigate. But okay, let me just drive back to my point because I can speak all day. But what I'm basically trying to say is that Africans are not free because they are run by other worlds and people that want to continue taking our minerals out of this continent. And they keep imposing all these rules and regulations because they know we always run out of money. And once you run out of money, the IMF is already at your door knocking to give you certain conditions so they can capture you and then give you the money.
Okay, wait. And here's where this is why I was asking you earlier, like the whole mentoring thing. Because don't you feel like it's time to change the discussion? That's what I'm doing now.
I'm mentoring.
No, but wait, don't you think it's time to change the discussion? Because as someone who's dabbled into business here and there, I don't have as much experience as you do. But what I've realized is that a lot of young black people have great ideas, but the only thing and our biggest challenge is funding. So don't you think we should start talking about platforms and how you can open up the industry per se and get the funding out there to fund people that have ideas? Because in this climate that we're in the economy that you're in, it's very hard that you're going to meet someone who's going to fund your idea when it's just an idea. You get what I'm saying? It needs to be like tangible. It needs to have already moved, growing legs, which is why shows like Shark Tank are awesome. You know what I mean? Because you get there, present your idea, there's investors there that will invest. So don't you think the discussion should now be about how do we start getting funding? Because already we're stepping into a race where there's generational wealth from other races. So a white person that graduates, he just goes to the apprentice, like, I want to start a radio station. Boom, Massive Metro is born. But as a black person, where do you go if you want to start a Massive Metro?
Can you see how important it is for me to say what I've just said?
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's where it comes from,
but I'm
right?
just saying, don't you think now, instead of trying to mentor people to be business, because I think the biggest is funding, and also when as black people we get money, how to handle money.
And it's exactly it comes from what I've just said. And they had to sit somewhere in Europe and decide how they're going to split Africa amongst themselves, and they did. And they had to go colonize different countries in Africa. That's why you go to other countries in Africa. People are even bragging about being Portuguese. But they were colonized by the Portuguese, but they're not Portuguese, they're African. Some of them were colonized by the French. And like, wow, they speak French, it's sexy. But that's not our language, we are Africans. We were colonized by the Dutch. And shout out to the generation of 1976 for rejecting Afrikaans. Because right now, every person is supposed to be speaking Afrikaans. That's what they're trying to do. To colonize us, to dump your language so you can adopt their language and hate yourself. And then they promoted tribalism, and that's why you'll say, hey, I'm a Shangan, hey, I'm a Khoso, we fight amongst each other. There's a crab in the barrel mentality of pulling each other down. That was designed. That was by design. They knew that's what was going to happen. And they knew exactly.
So what is the solution?
That's where I'm going. They knew exactly that their kids and their grandkids would be born of privilege. That's why we talk about white supremacy and say, your peer can say, yeah, but I never enslaved you, or I never practiced apartheid, but you benefited from it.
Yeah, 100%.
And they can say, no, they didn't, but they did. Just because of the example you've just made as well.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to go to the bank and ask for a loan for a verpa. They're going to give it to you. They're going to give you the same million or the same $500,000 to buy a verpa. If you're asking for the same amount of money to start a business, you will not get it. But you will get it if you want to buy a verpa.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? So the solution is...
because they want to enslave you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because once the bank gets you once, they got you for life. Just like I still have the same account I opened when I was still at varsity.
Hey, it's a mind trap.
Yeah.
It's a mind fuck.
They get you for life and they keep offering you more debt. And that's how they capture you, right?
Yeah.
And you only understand when you're older and wiser and smarter. That you also got to be smart with your finances. But because of the background that we come from, we're not taught how to handle money, how to use money. So you don't know that you don't spend your money on liabilities. You're taught that you must spend your money on liabilities so that you're the man.
Yeah.
That's why I had to go buy a Porsche so people look up to me. I have to go buy a Lamborghini, people look. I have to go buy a Hammer, a Range Rover, but it's a wrong mentality.
Yes.
But imagine that money that I suck, those hundreds of thousands or millions that I suck into those cars, if I'd spend them on property that I would be renting out, probably almost all that property would be paid off by now or nearly paid off.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why financial literacy or financial education is very crucial and important to say that amount of money that you've just made, even if it's 10 million, it's not enough. It's not much. You've got nothing as a
10 million
black
is
person.
nothing nowadays.
You've got black tax. You've got things to look after. You've got businesses to start this, but you got to start spending your money, even if you don't even have 1 million. Spending your money on assets. Euphonic said something amazing. He said, if you cannot afford 5 of them, don't buy it.
Yes, sis.
And that's an incredible lesson. Because you think you can afford it. A cell phone is 20K, you've got 50K.
Yeah.
You think you can afford it because it's 20K, you got 50. Euphonic says, if you cannot afford 5 of them, don't buy it. Those who understand what he's saying, understand what he's saying. And that's a simple analogy that can teach you about how you can manage your finances. And he spoke about mentorship. Mentorship is very important because you're asking people that have walked that journey. I'm mentoring a youngster called Lindash, Brown Dash's son. He was 3 years old when we made that song. Okay, that's the child Brown was singing about. Yeah. He's 20 years old now. He's a massive Metro intern.
Wow.
He's Mzekezeke's DJ, by the way. Yeah. He's going to be working with Mzekeeke as well. And for me, that's mentorship because he's there. He's learning every morning. He's watching. One of the young guys is always watching me preach every day. He's learning. That's mentorship. He's learning. So when this mentorship doesn't work, it's just a word that's thrown around